Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we got the little sell day. Was we talked about sell days up and gap up. Things continued up a little bit, and they came back down. So the question is, like it says right there. Well, it said where I had to change the screen. Uh, RBI day. Will we have a red bar ignored? So where's the red bar? Because we're looking at the futures, but we'll get to that when we look at the Qs and the spiders. But we got a topping tail. Excuse me. Look, it's so obvious. It's not obvious. It's not like we know what's going to happen, but we have biases about what is likely to happen. So historically, the bias is you get several days up into resistance, it gaps up as it reaches the pinnacle of that move. Right? There's going to be sellers there, just the way things are now. And then we see, does it hold on to the gain? Does it not hold on to the gain? So it didn't hold on to the gain yesterday. And this morning, a little dip is being bought, you know, didn't violate any significant support. It's coming back up. So, does it form a little trading range here? That's what we're going to be looking for today. Well, two things really. Does it form a trading range, bullish price action at resistance, which would suggest it's going to go higher, especially if this was to close with a bottoming tail bar? If you apply bar by bar analysis, and I gave a lesson on that in the advisory letter over the weekend. We went through the S&P chart and how it, changed from as it pulled back and gapped, and it looked like it was going to go lower. And if you applied bar by bar analysis, it adjusted your bias accordingly to what the markets were doing. And so the same thing here. I mean, as we look at the S&Ps and the Qs, we see a red bar, and then it's like, okay, does it follow through? It's in an uptrend. Where would it follow through to? Yesterday I spoke about depths of retracement and so on. So all of these concepts that we use, retracements, relative strength, relative weakness, trend, multiple time frames, and so on, guide us as to our bias. So today, does it hold on to the gain? We look at a 5-minute chart. We see these little rejections as it's attempting to move up, yet it doesn't break down. So it's beginning to form a little support area there. So as we look at our charts without indicators, we look at the price action and we say, okay, it's in an uptrend. It's up several days in a row. This time frame is up. This time frame is up. I look at my 65-minute. It does have the potential to move up toward yesterday's high, and it's consolidating here near this pivot. So if it breaks out, I would expect it's going to attempt to move higher toward yesterday's high. That's not significant, but from an intraday trading point of view, that's what it is. And it should not break down below this low in the short term. It's just what we call a thought process. And so as you do that, you're being guided as to what's happening in multiple time frames. And if you're trading from the daily time frame, and if you're using the weekly, right, the trend is just up. It's at resistance. It's not a place to enter, and this is relatively, well, not relatively. It's meaningless to you, right? Is what's going on, because at this point, it's like, okay, the trend is up. Does it close under a prior day's low or not? And we apply this same analysis to whatever we're looking at. So as we look at, we always look at the spiders or SPX, because now we see the gaps. And so, we see that this is a bad tick here, what's called a bad tick, an erroneous print. But this is up. You saw the gap up yesterday and it pulled back. So now we look at, where is it today? It's within yesterday's range so far. The start, assuming this is where it's at 3:30, would start as an inside day. And then from there, does it move up toward yesterday's high? Do they sell it again? Does it close under a prior day's low? Does it go sideways up there? So bar by bar analysis would tell you, okay, let's say you're swing trading and you bought down here And you remember, back on this day, the theme was buy the dip. So now, what do you do here? Well, you either take your money as a swing trader, or where are you going to put your stop? There isn't a good place to put the stop, unless you can go under a prior day's low, or, if you want to give it more room, you could sell a covered call, you could sell half. So you got different choices as to how you want to handle that as a swing trader. From an intraday trading point of view, we see the pullback into the gap fill. It got bought and came up a little bit. And now where is it at? I see my cursor. It's up at resistance. 15-minute chart, we see a little more detail there. And it's inside yesterday's range, but it's at this resistance area. I scroll that over a little bit. You see it's at this little resistance area, and then same scenario. If it clears here, can it attack the prior high up there? And when it gets up there, from here to here, if you're a day trader, you take your money, right? Or sell half and trail and position trade and money management. All right. I'll look at SPX so Don can get into the room. He always looks at these. Good morning, Don. All right. So unfilled gap, just mentioning it. Don't expect it to go down there. Not in the short term, that's for sure. Same scenario yesterday, open and close about the same place, right? Little doji kind of bar, went down, went up first, and it went down, and it came back up. And the same story, where's it going to go from this point? It's trading right around here as we looked at the spiders, inside day, give or take. And that's pretty darn tight, right? The distance between those strikes. So as volatility contracts, this gets tighter, and the probability of hitting one or the other becomes greater. Now, we do have Thanksgiving holiday coming up, and I suspect by, later in the afternoon, people start leaving. But we'll see, what the day brings, and it could just be a chop fest kind of a day. We don't know, but what I went over with you is, that consolidation, does it go up to the high of the day? Does it break that? Does it go down to the low of the day? Or maybe it takes it out. Who the hell knows? That's the reality. We don't know what's going to happen. We just know the trend is up. It's at resistance. It's stalled there. There hasn't been a break under a prior day's low. And so it may go sideways. It may, whatever it's going to do. At this point, from this time frame, the trend is up and there's nothing to do. Those are the strikes for today. Like I said, they're pretty close. Here. And we could look at the NASDAQ 100 for a second, but that got sold. Technology came down to fill the gap. It started to make a turn. It was pretty erratic. It just couldn't get going. Semiconductors, they tried to make the turn, and we picked one. Again, this is the second one. One was last week that did great, and then we had one yesterday that did great. So two semiconductor stocks that have been outperforming in a sector that has not been performing. Where's my semiconductors? Here we go. So it attempt like it was going to go up and it couldn't get going. It's just chopping around here under the moving averages, at this resistance area. It's gapping up today, another attempt, and we'll see if it can move up or whether it gets rejected again. Financials came back after a breakdown. I mean, they're extended short term. But intraday, they were going sideways. It, was like, okay, is this going to break out? Market going to continue higher? And then let's just say buyers got tired. And so it looked like it was going to come down to fill the gap. But no, it didn't. So buyers came in a little sooner. I'm just looking here. Usually it would have came down maybe to the top of these pivots, but it didn't. So still bullish price action for buyers to come in. ahead of those pivot highs and it didn't fill the gap. It creates a pivot. They buy it again. And so now we've got this little doji bar, and so far it's holding on to the gain. So that's a positive. We've got the transports did great yesterday. They were a little bit of an underperformer, so a little catch up. They took out the high, a wide range bar, likely to stall. Interest rates, 10-year. That was big news. They broke down. The dollar was down. This was down. I wrote about this in the weekend letter that would be a plus if that was to happen. And it did happening on news of whoever it was, whatever his name is, Brexit or whatever, getting appointed. So interest rates came down. That was helped the market yesterday, but not much happened in the end. It's just a stall at resistance. But in bonds, this is ETF of bond prices, made a nice turn. So bottoming action looks like interest rates will continue to go down. Bond prices will go up. They'll hit some resistance, and we'll see, is this a significant turning point intermediate term? So we'll see. They're down here a little bit, but again, not a big deal after the gap up. And take some chopping around. The Russell up at resistance, got rejected after a little while, made a little double top. It was right here. I pointed that out yesterday and just came down a little bit, chopped around. So this is, you got a little support there, that pivot you can see on a 65-minute there. It came down to the gap fill. We'll see if it, again, red bar ignored or chopping around. We may have like not much happening here, before the holiday. And then, for Thanksgiving, usually that morning after Thanksgiving is bullish. Things go up. So, and then, market closes at 1:00. And, YM, several days up. It did well yesterday, but, eventually stalled out in the middle of the day, and starting with a red bar here, it would just make sense to pull it in a little bit. And so, for day trading, if this was to break below this low, got a little room for it to start to move down. So that's an idea to keep an eye on to see if that rolls over. And gold got clobbered yesterday, stabilizing, but that got whacked really good. And after, that move up. But look, we were looking for it to bounce down here. We were looking for it to stall at resistance. And again, news got shellacked pretty good. And a little bit of a head and shoulders bottom on the short-term basis there, which we'll be talking about in MT Live on Wednesday. Crude oil got shellacked yesterday. So what a mess. And of course, the oil stocks and XLE got beat. And the question is, which we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now, does it break down under these lows? Trump talking about fracking, open the spigots. That's got to equal more supply. Is there enough demand? Does this break down and, price of oil plummet into this void? Everybody's watching. Let's see. Everybody's watching all the things that they're saying, cutting, government and so on and so forth. Dan was typing to me this morning about the Biden administration giving Intel money and RIVN and the things they're going to do. Who knows what these Democrats have up their sleeve? Hopefully these Republicans have learned a few lessons over the last few years, because, historically, it's like Republicans, maybe they talk about being fiscally responsible, but as far as how they play their political game, it's like they're playing checkers and the Democrats are playing chess, because they're evil mother effers. Anyway, don't get me started. Bitcoin Yeah, right, Robert. Promises, promises. If they blow this one, man, it's like, what could we do? Just tell your kids, your grandchildren, don't believe anything they say because it's all BS. They better not blow this one. Bitcoin coming down, made a hell of a run, and we'll see. It's at where the support is. Look a little congestion there. This is a tough one because you got this little slop over here, but will it come all the way down there? Who knows? All right. So you got a little bit of congestion here. I'm just trying to duplicate that and just put another when they overlap each other, you know. Maybe it gets 90,000 would make a whole lot of sense, right? Up as a big whole number coming down there looking for a bounce. So maybe comes down there, watch GBTC or the Bitcoin related stocks. So that's about it. We'll see what today brings. Um, as I mentioned, energy got shellacked yesterday, big down bar. So, all yours, Dan.
Well, as we do every day in the green room, we talk about a bias into the end of the day. And my bias was still up, but I made the comment we had such a big move yesterday. Maybe we that used all the fuel up for the rally. But this closing 15-minute base right here is why I was bullish. Came down, bounced, and you know, so yeah, range bound here. Hopefully we'll get some more call spreads. I don't have any alarms going off, which is very different than yesterday. I had this up alarm go off at GFS. Little gap breakout yesterday. And we bought that. Sold half in strength. But looks higher here. So I tightened the stop under this pivot. Let's look at Trump going after this tariff, this moving, rocking things around, currencies, markets, affected stocks. Car manufacturers obviously are going to get hit by that big. So GM, Ford, Sitla, he's going after Mexico, Canada, China. Yeah, Ribbon. They're Biden's giving away 6 billion. Calls it a loan, but we know that's code. He's just pumping his green deal again as much as he can. A mitter here. Um, Someone in the green room found it yesterday for us. Look, daily, weekly, monthly. I like this a lot. So I'm watching a pullback on the daily. We don't buy from the bottom to the top. So ideally, it comes in for another 2 days, gives us a buy setup, and that'll be our core entry. Rigged team. I missed this gap yesterday, but look at the volume the last 2 days. One of these little computing stocks. Ford 1120. So Ford's holding okay. See, from here to here, it's gapping right to this gap fill. So that still looks okay. This Sitla. Also, it's a bottoming pattern. I have an alarm at 1320, I think. Let's see what they can do to negate this. These couple here I wrote down from Hugo. This is a bottoming pattern. ACHC, FCX, Hugo. It's in a downtrend, so it's just a bounce and a downtrend is all. Intel, we talked about giving away 7 billion. EEM, a small little W bottom here. I got an alarm at 43.40. News and these companies, weight loss companies. Lilly is up, but no pattern. NVO, bottoming pattern. I like the gap. So again, bouncing a downtrend, but this has room to 110, 112 for a nice bounce. And then Amgen is getting whacked on that news. That was a sell setup. That's an ugly gap. Wow, scamming $15 below that prior pivot low. That's ugly. Whiskey, I just saw going by the ticker, another bottoming pattern. If we get a 1, 2, 3, that might be a little bottom fisher. Mister, we had in the weekend letter to do a call spread, and I canceled it yesterday because it's just so spready, and I couldn't get a good credit, so I canceled it. But with this gap down, if you're so inclined, I think you can do the 460s now for Friday. If again, the problem is the spreads, but that was a nice pattern. This got whacked. Do y'all remember this was last Friday? And I was salivating by looking at the call premium. That I remember those, the 800 calls were $1.50 on 0 DTE day. It's insane. A BA alarm. This would be it's a Climo and then a little continuation pattern over this 1, 2, 3 with a big void. My alarm just went off on BA humbug. All right, thanks, Hugo. Well, I was talking call spread though, not directional. All right, QMCO. I don't know what got this thing blasted again. Look at volume. We just pay attention to volumes on spikes, and that was igniting volume. This thing went from $4 to 27. But look at the bear gap down here now on pre-market with a void. This could be 5, 10, 15-minute low. It's a big gap, but you still got a void down to $12, I'd say. Xena, I don't know what the heck happened to this yesterday, but now it's gapping to 1186. I'm going to keep that on a short list. Travago blasted yesterday. Let's see that would have been a fantastic 30-minute high because it broke out going sideways for an hour. There's your entry. Stop prior day's low. That's the one of those little travel companies. Kodak, I just saw going by the ticker. This is a crazy downside shakeout. But I don't know, maybe it's breaking out all time frames. Let's see if it can settle down. Let me go to earnings now. We don't have too many of them. Oh, Sophie here's a Climo watch. Hey, there's a nice day trade. Look at that. Gapping down, 15-minute chart. So that, I'm gonna put that in the window. That'd be a nice 5-minute low. Start off with a day trade. And then if it closes weak, hold half. And KMI got extended, call spread idea. This oil got extended. There's no weeklies though, and they're spreading. Charlie Echo bottoming pattern. I got an alarm. UNH, Alex mentioned like the 15-minute chart. That's a day trade idea. If it opens flattish or down a little, preferably, then I like it over this closing bar. Visa breaking out looks great. That's a bull rectangle. Looks great. IEI is one of these TLT derivative type things. All right, now I'm on the earnings. Zoom. We had this as a core long. Look at the multi-year breakout. So gap in the 84. I was hoping it was gapping lower, like to 80. But I have this as a 3 DTE put spread idea. Leslie Pool. That's a big kick in the you know what. If you were long, I mean, that thing's been in trouble for a while. LX. I love this pattern. It's breaking out here. It's gapping up over 1, 2, 3. I got it in the bottom right. I actually was bidding 355 pre-market. I did not get filled. PFLT alarm just went off. This is another earnings. And I said if it opened flat, then short yesterday's low. So that's a 5-minute low trade. That looks fantastic. Put that in a window, 5-minute low. Looks great. FLNC, gap in the down here, no pattern. SMTC, so that's a gap in crap call spread idea, 30-minute low. The bullish gap, but it's excessive. So that I like 550. I like the gap breakout, but it's excessive. Sub V, no pattern. Alpha 127, no pattern. We'll come back to it. Billboard, no pattern. There's that PFLT, WWD, gap in the 200, another call spread, 30-minute low idea. These were some earnings pre-market, 32, no pattern. I'm talking quick here because I got less than a minute. NJR, I can't see where it's gapping, but ideally, this thing gaps up $5, and then it's another gap and crap situation. ADI, gap into resistance, call spread idea. BBY gapping down 87. It's a bearish gap. I don't know. Burl, bear gap down, call spread idea. If there's any juice, DKS, gap and crap, call spread idea. What did I just get filled? Smuckers, that's a bullish gap. HTHT, I said if it opened flat, short it, but gap's too big. All right, I'm almost done. KSS getting whacked on earnings, and they said their CEO is leaving. That stock looks bad. There's a Bear Island reversal, call spread idea. Big old gap, but no pattern. TEN is on a death trend. Zulu Hotel, bear gap down. LX is what I got filled on. Okay, so I see I gave it as a 5-minute high, so you're not in it yet. So that's now a dime against me. This one, no pattern. All right, so that's all of that. All right, this PFLT I said I like. It fell too much. See, I had my alarm at 11 when I talked about it, so it fell too much. But that was a beautiful pattern. All right, I got some other alarms going off here. Alpha Lima, we have a third lot. You know what, with that bear gap, let's just sell it. Instead of waiting for yesterday's low to get taken out. That was a beautiful buy setup that triggered Alpha Lima. Oh, it actually stopped at 51.48. Okay, so that's why my alarm went off. But that's fine. It's within pennies. All right. Let's see. I got a bunch of alarms here. Starbucks. We have a half lot that's pulling in. Alpha Lima, that was that. NUE. My up alarm went off. I, let's, I hate to give up these nice kings. You know what? Let's just move. Still has a void. Let's just arbitrarily move stop 10-minute low just to protect gains. Ion alarm. Oh, it did gap down. All right, let's sell it on this bounce. I don't like the gap down, and it's rallied to the gap fill. We sold half yesterday. Let's just sell it here, 982. Cat low alarm. We're in trail mode. Weird. All right, V triggered. I'll set a new alarm, 314. I like when they pull in like that because then the trigger is a little small red bar ignored. Q's new high, looking up. A lot of the things are strong. In fact, they're all strong except Tesla. 15-minute charts are all bullish. You can look around for 3 DTE put spreads if you want. If there's any pattern there, I'm still trying to catch up. Oh, you tired email. Yes. Um, the tip. Ah, that's when we have a $4 puts. Where are puts? The tip. All right, so yeah, now it's against us. We sold them for 15, now they're 20, so they're 5 cents against us. We have puts that expire this Friday, $4. Um, I might kill it early. I don't, and now it's deep into the green bar. I'm gonna keep a tight leash on it. I was trying to get out of some of the nickel yesterday and didn't get filled. All right. This LX, I gave LX, I gave 5-minute high. Which is fine. It's fine if it triggers. I don't think it will. Oh, I still got XME puts, I just noticed. Forgot about him. And I'm still in IWR because I can't keep track of everything I got. All right, XME, let's see what the juice is. Diamond's the weakest. This clean spark went against us. But I gave a big old stop. And set a new alarm. Cat. Cat alarm. Let's see, that's early alarm or a real one? Should be a real one. Cat, yeah, cat. The trail stopped out. So we've had 3 trails here at profits. And DKS filled the gap. Wow, that's the one I said was a call spread idea. I know Sam's probably playing with his DKS right now. Cat in the hat, 401.69. Good. I know education is secondary. Entertainment is number one. Playa. No, for Lima. We only have a third left. $50.08. Yeah, look at DKS. Yeah, I gave it all up. Well, it was a cost spread idea, as I mentioned. All right, the LX actually triggered. LX triggered after the big old move down. I told you I got filled 355 as soon as the market opened because I was bidding based on the bullish pre-market action. Excellent. BTI. Yes, we have Citigroup and we have STT still. STT, let's move stop low. 98.13. Ah, I had it at 98.28, so it's actually stopped. Got a profit. So taken. We were in this one for a while because it was dead money. We were in it for 15 days.
In day trade, you can short IWM or TNA or stop over the high of the day for that gap from yesterday. Mhm.
Charlie Echo, we never entered, but I have an alarm up there. IWR. All right, I'm gonna sell mine. Well, my dad's. Oh, no, I only have 89 puts left. All right, I sold the stock. 89 puts are 0 by 75. What a jerk. Just gonna bid it. I'm gonna put a GTC order in for a nickel. I thought I might have gotten filled because they're all zeros. Slam DCTH. Yeah, yeah, it ain't bad. I'd like it better if it closed like this, but then I got a, like 1, 2, 3. And then, yeah, that looks good. All right, Sophie still isn't ready for sure. Amgen, a big mess. NVO. Let me check this.
Hello. Incorporate, John. Mas she's much complicado, Brazil, she's much.
104 is 33 by 44.
Yeah, an MSTR coming into the gap area. You want to consider that for a call spread.
Yeah, I canceled it because of the spreads. But let me check 460s for Friday. Yeah, dollar spread, but let's see what the midpoint is. $5 wide, 57 cents. Just the spreads are the problem. All right, LX 5-minute high is 364. Starbucks coming in hard. The news said they had a data hack.
They're gonna figure out who orders what kind of coffee and sabotage you.
Mm-hmm.
Caramel, maca, whatever, versus espresso.
Macchiato. Yeah, we did a put spread in this. Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
Uh,
Things are more whippy, Alex. That's why I've been doing that. But um, actually, for the IWM, I did use the futures. And the stocks, there've been more opportunities in the stocks. So I changed my desktop screen to put more stock charts and um, limited futures charts. Other than you and I don't know if any others in the room do the futures contracts. I think more of them would do the leveraged ETFs. That's two wide range bars up, Alex. Not an official 1, 2, 3. Could actually be a call spread.
no, I wouldn't do a
Or
cross.
play.
No, not me. That's bullish. Daily, weekly, monthly. So a third of NUE. We got over $4 gain. But I'm gonna set an alarm at 150. Nice 1, 2, 3, 4, but in a downtrend, but maybe an hourly breakout. That Zoom is there any premium? The 80s, 17 cents is all.
Pretty potent reversals on the 5 minute. Qs and S&P, but I don't know, those Qs can go down very much with Meta and Apple, Microsoft, and Google acting pretty decent.
Mhm.
Nvidia is still dragging, but it's not breaking down.
AMD dragging.
Yeah, well, semiconductors are at the low of the day. SMH. Actually, look like they're going to break lower. They're on support here on the 5 minute. Bunch of pivots.
Tesla call spread. I think I looked yesterday. Uh, 360 or above. Yeah, here you go, 362. And $5 wide, only 38 cents though. Charter alarm. I know you were looking at that, Greg.
It must be an early alarm. Yeah.
All my alarms are early. Unless it's a target alarm.
Mhm.
Hey, D-line. Wow. I just noticed that it's an ugly gap down. So it's the narrow breadth again, Qs and spiders. Because it's a gap down to whatever, 800. Now it's negative 915. Despite that morning, Qs and, well, again, Qs and spiders are doing their thing. I have you on my diamonds. Bitcoin breaking out here on a 15-minute chart.
Credit resistance, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying to do anything, but because I don't trade Bitcoin, but if there was, barometer for the related stocks. PGR. I think so. No, the VIX, no. Just Google it, because I don't want to give you the wrong answer. Just, and it should bring you to the CME website. They have good explanations there. Or just, I tell you what, type NDX contract specs CME, and it'll bring you right there. And they have a nice little summary of what it represents, expiration, type of settlement. Yeah, the CME does, they have a good website. Talking about them. Hey, talking about them, Greg, there's an inverse head and shoulders for you for tomorrow. Sloppy one.
Sloppy one.
Of course it is, but it is one. Shoulder, head, shoulder at the neckline. But yeah, sloppy as can be. Yeah, what do you want to talk about? CME. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on my list. Look at that sit one. Kodak, I said, was back in play. I think they used to trade options on this thing. Let me check. Yeah, $5. They only have $5 puts, 0 by nickel. NVO, yeah, it's an ADR. Trading those.
Where they put the comments, you said.
And you all remember what I said yesterday? Did we have the pre-Thanksgiving excitement all wrapped up into one day? And it's, possibly slop through into Wednesday, but I still think that the morning after Thanksgiving is my total recollection is bullish. Well, financially,
It is, but I remember it's pretty fast and furious kind of action.
But yeah, financially settled means cash settled. Yeah, I don't know why they use that term. It's cash settled. You either take assignment of the underlying or it's cash settled. That's it.
Allow me, allow me.
The only two words I know. So this Ford, big old trading range here. You see it better in the weekly. That'd be a put spread if there's any juice. 1050. Let me look. $0.03. 3 cents. I don't think so, homie. All right, Alex, you're UNH now. Getting interesting. So, Greg, you like these entries? You know, buy setup, the inside bar, the 1, 2, 3. It's just
with an intraday base.
right. Let's buy setup on support. So you want a half a lot over this prior 15-minute bar high?
No,
Why?
no. Where's the drawing tool there? No, that's not a base. I mean, if you wanted to, first of all, where's your 60 minutes? Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. This has got to base out. It's just a trading range. It's a mess,
I know, but that's what I said. You're buying the low of an anticipatory 1, 2, 3. That's what
No, no, I'm not interested in that. Just because it takes out that high, it could easily still break down, go down here, and you've got an unfilled gap. So I want to see it form more of a consolidation and then break out.
you're. AD line new low under 1,000. Diamonds just went downtown. Must have a call spread idea. This day trade short, I think you get over $1. 444 there. 447 calls. There's still no daily. There's still no daily 0 DTEs on diamonds. That is frigging retarded. Why
Short
would
it. Short it.
no, I know, I just said that. But why would you have 0 DTEs on 3 of the 4 index ETFs? It's just retarded.
I think it's less liquid.
Yeah, but if you're an option market maker, your job is to design toys for traders. Why would you give 3 and not 4? And we all know that lack of liquidity has nothing to do with them listing things either.
Well, yeah, they have to assign a market maker. I mean, when they first started with trading, I forget which futures contracts, they had market makers. And then as liquidity picked up, they didn't need a need for them anymore.
And I don't know why diamonds would have to be illiquid. It's only 30 stocks. So, should keep it tight. The underlying 30 are all.
There's a leverage ETF. I haven't looked at it in ages. There is a leverage ETF.
Does it have options?
No idea.
All right, I mean, closing out. Closing out NUE. Nice profit. There are options, but they're not weeklies, just monthlies, and these are pretty bad spreads. But as a general rule, leverage, exacerbates the spread. problem. There, little LX is cruising here. Just busted a move to a new high. Let moving stops to break even as soon as reasonably practical. And on this one, we did it in 30 minutes. So that makes it even better. Because then other than gap risk, you're just enjoying the ride.